From fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Pod Therapy. Real people, real problems, and real therapists. You can submit your questions anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. Just in case you are starting to feel good about the way things are going in the world, we recently learned that murder hornets are a thing now. Do you ever feel like you're living in a simulation controlled by Dr. Evil? And now, broadcasting from the churn, that guy's our Dr. Evil, Jim Jobin. I'm Nick Tanchman. It's time for some Pod Therapy.
Don't these murder hornets also come from Asia? Isn't that like part of the MO here? Is they're like, hey...
That's racist.
Okay, it's getting hard. All right, China, I want to like you.
Well, I don't know. Do we know that for a fact?
Kung Fu Panda was wonderful, okay?
I don't know
like, I really want to like you. But, like, the Corona thing was pretty rough, and now there's, like, this whole murder hornets. It's getting bad.
From Asia.
It's getting bad.
It is
Made in
from
places
Asia?
like Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan.
Murder hornets. I mean, come on. But you know what? Good job, science, giving them a name that tells us up front what the deal is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Avoid it.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Because sometimes you guys bury the lead on these animals. And
yeah.
we don't need that, you know?
Like tiger.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is
I don't know
that
what
good
that
or
thing's
bad?
gonna do.
Right.
I don't know.
Like, yeah, orange flashing murder cat would have been helpful. Tell us up front what this thing can
But
do.
tiger snake, you know that's bad.
Tiger snake is bad. It's interesting because you go back into like when they Latin, you know, like animal names or whatever, you know, the official names or whatever. And I've always appreciated that the Latin name for bear is the grizzly bear. The grizzly bear specifically is Ursa horribilis, which literally just translates to horrible bear.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, this classification of bear is the horrible one.
See, if we all spoke Latin,
Yeah,
we would,
right?
we would
You'd
understand
already
that.
know that. So,
Yeah.
murder hornets. God, this is it. See, guys, read your Bibles. This is the end times, okay? It's all in there. It's all been said.
Right.
It's all been said. Plagues upon us, the murder hornets. Pretty sure that was the word they used.
Honestly, I think the plagues in the Bible weren't that bad compared to what we're dealing
They
with
really
right now.
weren't. That's right. Like locusts. Like,
Yeah,
gosh.
we've got moths going on right now.
Oh, no, not again. The moths are descending on Vegas
Oh
again?
yeah, the moths are a thing now.
Guys, this is it. Come on. That's too many clues, okay? This is
And
it.
what are those giant mosquitoes? The what are
but
they
they're
called?
not mosquitoes.
No, they're not. They're
But they look
mosquito
just like them.
hawks.
No, not those.
It's
It's called a water crane.
something fly. Crane fly.
Yeah, crane fly.
Crane fly is
yeah,
what they are.
yeah. And they're huge.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I would see these in my backyard and just run because it looks like a mosquito on steroids.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, it's like.
And I was
this-
murdering these things.
It's like the size of a $50.
It's
but
bad.
it's a mosquito.
Oh, they're huge. And then I look them up one day, and it's like, nah, these are called crane flies.
Oh, they're just
like,
annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're completely harmless.
harmless. They're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's the daddy long legs of flies. Like
Yeah.
it can't do anything. They're often mistaken
Which
for
is
mosquitoes.
It's funny because Laura is very like she doesn't want to hurt anything. She doesn't want to kill anything.
Oh,
and
you got to
all
cross that line on
Oh,
mosquitoes.
no. But this one, she's like, kill it. And I don't know if you've tried killing one of these things.
Her ethics are gone.
But like you can't just whack it with a newspaper and it's over.
no.
Like no, like you hit it with a newspaper and they look at you like, what the? What are you doing? Like
Was
I'm not
that in New
bothering
York
you.
Times? Who
Yeah.
subscribes to the Times?
You uppity.
Yeah,
No, but
that's
they-
right, you elite bastard. Get a USA Today. That's the people's paper.
But
and
like you
thicker.
got to hit these things like multiple times. Like you can stun them a little bit, but they'll get back up.
Vegas bug season sucks,
Yeah.
dude. It really sucks. You ever had scorpions in your yard?
No.
Oh,
Yes.
those bitches. Oh, they're terrible. Oh, we get the black lights out and we go looking for them. Oh, that was a Boy Scout activity, too. We all go camping in Red Rock, and we give all the kids black lights and hammers, and they just go out murdering scorpions. You got to protect the campsite. You know?
No, we have a scorpion guy that comes out to the house because we have a big property with lots of
That'd be
of
terrifying.
plants on it.
A
so
6-foot tall scorpion man?
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, a scorpion guy.
That's
It's
terrifying.
got a tail. You got to watch out for the tail.
Jesus.
This guy is, I call him the Scorpion Whisperer.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Because we had
There's got to be more effective ways to
because
find scorpions.
we have really big palm trees. We have like a lot of plants where scorpions live. We have lots of spots for scorpions.
Uh-huh.
And so the first thing that he does This is months and months ago now that he does this. Now he comes out, I think, every other month and sprays, and we've never seen a scorpion since he has started.
Oh,
Or I think
wow.
we've seen one.
Oh.
And we've seen a couple of them that have died.
So clearly this guy was casing your house for months and planting scorpions for you to find. And
Brilliant.
then one day he comes in,
Brilliant.
takes them all out, and he's like,
Yeah.
I am God.
So what he did
It's a long
first
con.
is he came out at night, because it's easier to find him at night with
Right.
the black lights. He sprayed a little bit of poison, just like a dusting of it, just enough to agitate them
Okay.
Oh.
and make them all come out. And then he goes around at night with a big sticky pad, like a big sticky trap,
What?
a black light, and a pair of needle nose pliers.
What?
And he
Really?
just goes around, grabs the scorpions, throws them onto the sticky pad, and collected like 50 of them.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah. No, it was
50
a
scorpions on a sticky pad?
it was a whole thing.
Oh my God.
But I'm telling you, since he
What was the pliers for?
he was using them to grab the scorpions.
Pick them up.
Oh, got
Yeah,
it.
so
I
he
missed
didn't
that.
have to
I thought
use
he
his
was using the
hands.
sticky pad. I thought he was just plunging down with the sticky pad and just abducting them.
Maybe he had 10 sticky pads, one on each finger. and he
Yeah,
was
just get that. Just wrap your hands in tape. It's the same way you get dust off your
Well,
clothes.
I'm done, but can you open my car door for me? Because I
Right, my hands are crawling, and that's how he became the Scorpion Man.
Yeah.
Never took them off. You
Then
know?
he hung out in your pool with a toaster.
But easy to get that 6-foot diameter from other people. That's one way to do it. Scorpions, man. We have those bark scorpions too. They're horrible.
Yeah.
Oh God, they're so bad. No, we get to add murder hornets to the top list.
Yes.
And we had those
There you go.
bees, those killer bees. So, look at that, Nick. He just pulled up a picture of like a
Oh,
bunch of
wow.
scorpions under black light. It's
That's-
so interesting.
That's
that they
the scorpions from my yard.
Glow. Oh shit!
That's,
This is
that's
a real
the sticky
picture?
pad. That's the
Wow.
sticky pad under
my
black light.
God.
And that's one of the sticky pads, because that's only like 30 scorpions.
Oh, that's nightmare fuel. That's nightmare fuel. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
So he got them
Wow.
all. I think he got all the scorpions in Nevada.
It's great. And I tell you what, our neighbors love him too.
Oh yeah, he goes over. Oh, because obviously.
No, because like
They
he's
attract
getting rid
him
of
over
like
your yard.
half the scorpions in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
your neighbor comes out. He's like, "Hey man, have you seen my my pet scorpion?"
Yeah. Ooh, sorry.
I let him out to pee, and they haven't come back.
Sorry about that.
We were just playing fetch, and
Yeah,
then all
it's
of a
just
sudden
really
it
weird.
disappears.
They go out and eat all the bugs. It's really, really helpful. Super
All
awkward.
right. So if you're wondering why we're talking so much about bugs, it's because we don't have a show.
Yep. And if you were in the Patreon, you'd know how bad it is, which is why you shouldn't be giving us money.
So so we're doing a double this week because next week is
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all moms
Happy
out
Mother's Day, Mom.
Early
I know you
Mother's Day.
listen to the show.
there. Right. And yeah, so we got a little mixed up with our scripts, but we're gonna wing it.
What are you going to do for your mom, Nick? Call her.
There
Yep,
you go.
I'll call.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going all out this year.
Yeah. Gonna go all. I'll even be nice on the call.
I mean,
Oh.
I'll text. I texted my sister and I was like, "Hey, let me know what you're buying Mom for Mother's Day and how much I need to Venmo you." And she writes me back. She's like, "Hey, I can't find anything. I've looked everywhere." And I just text her back. I said, "That is not my problem." You know this arrangement. It's very clear. You buy things. I reimburse you. You put my name on the card. That is our agreement.
Yeah, that was our agreement too with me and my sister, but we I think we got confused because we just no one was getting anything.
Just both of you.
We're just exchanging money back.
But Nick
and
was
forth.
still paying her.
Yeah,
This is so weird. Why is it a monthly payment? I don't understand. What, Mom, is Mom really enjoying that TV you bought her? It's like, oh, there's all these installments. This is so weird.
no, we probably aren't going to get her anything because the last thing we got her was a TV, and what she ended up doing, which is a very Iowa mom thing, she didn't get rid of the old TV. She just put the new TV
On top of the old TV. Oh. Oh, yeah.
That was definitely a Jeff Foxworthy.
Oh, yeah.
Was it really?
Oh, yeah. Yup.
If you have a working television sitting on top of a non-working television, you might be a redneck.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a country thing.
Yeah,
That is absolutely a country thing. Or cars in the front yard that are decommissioned, now just there for parts. Like
Yep.
that's a thing. So
Yep.
Well, happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. And as you're hearing this, will be a few days still before Mother's Day. And if you're out there and you were like, holy shit, Mother's Day is this Sunday, this is your courtesy warning. Go ahead and get on it. And there's no restaurants. That's the number one thing that happens on Mother's Day.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, man. When I used to work in restaurants, that was the day.
Yeah, that
like,
was
you
busy.
could not call out. They would let you know. This is the day that if you call out, you will be fired. Like, that's not going to happen unless you have a doctor's note saying you were sick. That's it. You cannot request time off. Like, it's all hands on deck. We're going hard. Because it's Mother's Day. The moms cook a lot of the time. And so, like, now it's like, all right, we just take them out. Like, it's obvious thing. All the restaurants will be closed for Mother's Day, at least in our state, you know, and probably in most states. So we're going to try to, I'm going to try to cook. I'm going to try to do breakfast with the kids. My kids can cook.
You're
like
not going to do something
eggs.
nice?
No. Bring in one of those pool guys. Happy Mother's Day from the pool boy. But yeah, so I'm going to try to cook breakfast, and then I'm probably going to try to do some kind of dinner like steak. I'm going to try to cook steak. I think that would be nice.
You don't strike me as a person that grills a lot, that does a whole lot of
I cook a mean hot dog.
You don't strike me as a person that does much.
You don't strike me as a guy who should be in charge of whether food is edible.
You don't really do things.
In charge of fire.
In charge of fire and whether or not salmonella is in things.
Do you have a grill?
I do have a grill. I have a very nice grill, and I grill burgers. I'll do burgers and dogs. That's it. I never do anything more fancy than that. I don't trust myself with a lot of chicken. I just don't think I'll get it right, you know. And so I don't do poultry very much, but I don't know. I feel like I could watch a video on how to grill a good steak and then give it a shot. In worst case scenario, we have cereal for dinner. It's not a big deal.
That's not worst case. There's
worst case.
There's many other worst cases.
The above ground pool gets caught on fire. And, I mean, some weird stuff goes
worst
on.
cases, I don't know, like burn your house down.
That's in there. Yeah.
Kill someone with food poisoning.
You got to factor that in, too. Yeah. He's probably not wrong. So, yeah. So, not a grill master by any means, but I've been known to flip a few burgers in my time. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Not like toast and bun greatness or anything like that. But
yeah.
I know how to do it.
I'll do that occasionally.
Toast the buns?
Yep.
Get it right.
Just
I don't trust it.
I
don't like toasted buns.
Better.
No, it's not.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, that's terrible. I want it to feel like bread.
Wait. If you don't like the toasted buns, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you're aware and like able to toast a hamburger bun.
In a toaster?
Okay.
That's fine. Okay. I'm not going to take them and put them on the grill.
Okay.
Because I don't trust. I'll burn that shit. I will always burn that shit. I don't trust that.
Well, the key is to not get it too hot.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I burn that shit. Yeah. The key is
you put it on that little like that upper rack.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that's for.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things it's for, yeah.
I always do asparagus up there.
I was going to say you can do veggies up there, too.
Yeah, tinfoil, and I put it up there.
These are good ideas, guys.
Yeah.
I like that this.
They're not our ideas.
Welcome to manhood, Jim.
Yeah, thanks. No, I got a mustache.
None of these ideas are Nick or my ideas. Like these are just things that we know to do.
Yeah. Also, there's a website. It's a YouTube channel called The Art of Manliness.
Yeah.
And I have learned quite a few things on there.
Yeah.
It's like how to cook a burger. And it's like, hey, here you go. Here's how you cook a burger. Here's how you change a tire.
Oh, what a great idea.
Oh, no, it's a genius idea.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
He's got
Art
a
of
website
Manliness.
and everything.
Yeah,
and
just answers questions. It's like, hey, how do I do this? I'd like people to do this, guys.
If I remember correctly, he's got a really nice beard, too. Like,
that's
kind of whole.
Yeah, it's just really nice.
It's part of the shtick.
Yeah, part of the shtick.
Apparently, that's a thing. So, my mustache continues. I was going to dye it.
Let's see it.
It's still here.
Expose it. Oh, that's terrible.
I feel coming in.
Oh.
No, look into it.
Oh,
give it a shot.
That's
it grows
terrifying.
on you. So I went and bought beard dye, and I was like, I'm just going to like darken it a little bit because I was like, a lot more hairs than you can see, but they're very, very light. And then I looked into like doing that and all these terrible videos of people with like allergic reactions. And
oh,
crap.
really?
I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this. I don't want to die. So, and also you could like, I don't know. I just feel like it could backfire. So I just don't want to do it. So I'm just growing it in the background. Meanwhile, Nick took a week off shaving and he has a ridiculous mustache.
I was trying to figure out because the mustache looked familiar to me, and since we're doing obviously an audio podcast,
it looks like Mario Brothers.
People can't see it.
Mario.
So
Mario from Mario Brothers.
It's like Mario's creepy uncle.
Yeah.
Google Post Malone.
Okay.
And,
is that? Does he have a nice mustache?
He has a mustache.
He has a mustache. It's a lot thicker. It's a little thicker.
I'm used to
but
that.
in the same sense that it doesn't connect to the beard.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of the same.
I just want it all to be there. I basically want Jacob's. That's what I want. If I could just clone somebody else's facial hair, I want that. He's going a little bit big on the Billy Goat thing, but he's got everything I'm looking for.
Mainly because my wife hates it.
It's 100% to piss her off.
Yeah.
I love the commitment, though. That thing
works.
has gotten legit. It's very nice. What you need to do is get one of those Pharaoh cones that like caps inside of a beard and just basically is like tied to the beard and creates like that like conical like sarcophagi of beard.
I'm probably not going to do that.
You should Google it.
Probably not going to do that.
I just got a text from my sister. My nephew Kevin got his first inside look at a cop car last night.
Congratulations, Kevin.
Good job, Kevin.
On your first DUI.
You say he's 10?
Yeah,
So he's starting
A
late.
little young to get that DUI, but
he's 16.
hey, Kev, we all go there, buddy. It's gonna be fine.
Wait, so what did he get popped for?
I don't know. I just texted her back. I need more information.
Yeah, you can't just tell us that.
Yeah.
Have you, Jim? You ever been in the back of a cop car?
Only in because my uncles are cops. I've never done anything.
Oh,
bad.
so you've never actually been?
Have you been arrested?
I was not arrested. I was handcuffed. I was taken in the police station,
Oh wow.
but I wasn't officially charged with anything.
That's rare. Once they bring you
So-
in there, you're usually getting booked.
Yes.
They don't care about what you did wrong by the time you're in there.
No.
They'll let a judge.
Well, I rolled.
What does that mean?
I gave names. I gave
Oh,
information. So I was like,
you snitched.
I'll tell. Yeah.
It was Three
Yeah.
Finger Bobby.
Which actually, our THERAPRODUCER Ben Don still gets questioned about in job interviews.
shows up on his background check.
Yes. And he's told me he's had a couple jobs where he almost didn't get it
Because it's showing
because
up.
he had to answer some questions.
Oh, that'll happen.
Yeah,
that
so
will happen.
I'm still in debt, I think, to him.
Yeah, well,
So.
you're a bad friend. You snitched.
I am.
And now he sponsors your podcast.
Yeah, I'm a pretty
He's a good
terrible
pal. He's a good
He
pal.
is, yeah.
Also, Ben, you should think about boundaries. Let's talk about toxic friendships, Ben. Are you getting what you need out of this? I just feel like you're kind of in an abusive relationship. I take the fall for my friend and I sponsor his podcast, but he calls me
Yeah.
once a year on my birthday.
Yeah. All right, let's answer a question.
Yeah,
huh?
we have questions.
let's do a show.
There's
I
something
can't help
here.
but notice that nobody asked me if I'd ever been in the back of a cop car.
We didn't. We just kind of
No one,
I
no
mean,
one
I don't wanna
even,
just
no one
put
even
your
thought about
business.
it. No one even thought
Well,
about it.
the PO officer in the
Well,
corner
now-
of the room who's staring at you right now was kind of an indicator light. I felt like, why would I ask? I mean, we've all met Officer Ramirez. He seems nice.
I do want to know though. Now that
Oh yes.
Yeah, that ankle bracelet's
Oh,
kind of a
yes.
dead giveeway.
Okay, so I guess we
Now-
should
now
ask.
We have to know.
We should ask how many times.
Yeah,
Huh.
just round to the nearest 10.
Multiple.
Oh
Okay.
my
Definitely
god.
multiple.
More than one.
Oh yeah, that's what multiple
to,
means.
We're not trying to put your business out there, but
No, I'm really trying to think.
did you find the upholstery nice? What was your experience?
I was in one that had the cutouts in the seat
Oh.
Yes.
for
I
your
had-
hands.
Oh,
when your
interesting.
hands are handcuffed behind you, you have a really nice spot.
So just put your
So
hands.
you can still lean back on the back of the seat, and
Oh.
your hands just fit nicely into a nice cutout.
Well, that
Yeah.
was
I've only
very
been in one of
convenient.
those.
Okay.
That was one of the cars I was in.
I think that's a
At
newer
that time.
thing.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My uncle's car has like a space for his police dog, and there's like this little plexiglass thing between you
Mm-hmm.
and the police dog. And usually, like, he'll give the police dog like a German command, which is like harass. Like the person's in there, and this dog's like
Be a
screaming at
dick.
him. Yeah, just be a dick the whole time. And this dog's like, spitting and snarling on this glass, trying to get this guy, and he's just losing his mind. So probably not a pleasant experience, but. Thoughts and wishes.
I've never had a
Kevin?
pleasant experience in the back of a police car.
No, probably not a place that you're hoping to be at that
No?
exact
No?
moment. But glad that you're out, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Right
I have
You
done
don't-
Nick's thing. I have been taken in and then not charged,
Wow.
Yeah.
but not because I
Did you roll too?
no.
You sold out the bad guys.
I was scared. I don't know what to do.
That's how they get you.
That's
Yeah.
how they get you.
Oh, they knew. Like
Very
I'm sure when they
intimidating.
saw me. So one of the things we got questioned about an incident that had happened the night before, 2 nights before. Police came over to our house, and we opened the door, or my roommate did. He opened the door, and we didn't invite them in, but they came in because they looked inside and they saw a no U-turn sign that we had cut down from.
so there it is. Probable cause.
Yeah, we lived right on University Avenue, and we'd cut it
Yep.
down.
Vandalism of public property.
That's not actually what caused the whole thing. That's just how they got
Ah.
in. But it's a crazy story even behind the no U-turn sign.
The dead hookers behind the no
yeah.
U-turn sign. Usually a dead giveaway that they're going to be coming into your house.
Oh yeah, he apparently he was doing some burnouts on Maine.
Yeah, that will happen.
That'll do it.
That'll wake you up. That's whenever Officer Barney comes over and throws you in the back of the cruiser and teaches you a lesson.
Yeah.
So that's a coming-of-age story right there.
Yep.
Everybody has to go through it, Kev. You're going to be okay. Uncle Nick's with you.
Right.
Let's call you Uncle
Absolutely.
Nick.
I really want to know what this kid did to end up in the back of a car now.
He did.
He was doing burnouts on Main Street.
He's doing.
Oh,
donuts.
that was the nephew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the
yeah,
nephew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just
actually,
got that text.
I could see where he thought that was part of your story.
Yeah, I
Probably,
thought
yeah,
that was
'cause
part of your story.
I
I
don't,
thought your roommate was doing
No,
burnouts or something.
I don't transition well between stories.
Yeah, do you want to confess to anything since we're talking about your past in criminal work? Do you want to? This is a great opportunity to go ahead and just say on the record anything that you may have done.
No, I'm good.
All right, yeah,
Jacob, you?
There's a few pending things.
Fine.
I should probably speak.
Nothing
to
that I'm legally obligated to.
Then they have to
on advice
disclose.
of counsel, I will demur. Decline to answer that question during this deposition.
Great. All right.
So we should probably answer questions.
Yeah. How about the one on prevalence-induced? Oh, we should do a commercial.
No, we haven't even done an A block. You're going to do the ER suicide question.
Yeah, I figured we'd just throw it. All right.
Are we doing a commercial?
This week's TheraProducer sponsor is Smitty Scoop. Today's first trivia question in honor of Smitty Scoop. What is the state motto of Virginia? Hint.
Virginia's not a state.
Hint.
Trick question.
It was
question.
It was supposedly shouted by John Wilkes Booth when he assassinated Lincoln.
Holy shit.
Virginia is for lovers.
There it is.
Pow! Mrs. Lincoln, please come by anytime.
And if you'd like to join
When you're
Smitty
here,
Scoop
your family.
and make this show possible, you can go to patreon.com/therapy and sign up. Again, that's patreon.com/therapy.
With a name like that, it has to be good.
With a name like Smuckers. These are better Virginia slogans. Over 1 billion served. Oh, all of these are great ideas. Okay.
I wasn't even thinking of them as ideas for a state slogan. I was thinking of them as stuff that John Wilkes Booth would shout.
Right.
When you hear your family.
When you hear your family, die, pig. Hello, Pod Therapy. Hello, Pod Therapy. It's Zach again. I was watching a YouTube video about this idea called prevalence-induced concept change. The guy was basically talking about if someone, say, had $30 million and your life became less stressed and had less problems, your mind would make up problems, aka prevalence-induced concept change. Is this true? What are your thoughts on this, and why does it happen?
So I would like to point at the Virginian motto to answer this,
Okay.
which is "Mo money, mo problems."
Long live the Confederacy. And this
Right.
continues to this day to be their motto. Very odd.
Yeah. All right. So when I first heard about this,
Yes.
prevalence-induced concept change, I originally thought, like, the way he described this sounds an awful lot like the hedonic treadmill, which is a little bit different, actually, as it turns out.
The hedonic treadmill, my favorite sex machine at the Erotic Heritage Museum, now
Yes.
open for virtual tours. Go to
Hey.
eroticheritagemuseum.com.
Oh, that place is great.
Yeah, it is great. Yeah, Dr. Victoria Hartman is the curator of the museum, and she's available for questions on Twitter, Dr. Victoria, at Dr. Victoria. What were you talking about? The hedonic treadmill?
Hedonic treadmill.
Sexiest thing in the show.
Which-
Sexiest ride at Disneyland.
Do you want to give a explanation?
Yeah. It got whips and chains, and it's diesel fueled, so you know it's good. But it's a Cold War era device, so you got to be really careful. Always wash it down first,
Right.
and after.
That's
and
one
during.
version of it.
Yeah.
The other,
During. and you have to be using it with Lysol at all times.
the hedonic treadmill essentially is kind of how your level of happiness changes based off of what occurs, right? So, kind of your happiness. So this is like a good example is people who win the lottery. They may immediately feel better, but then after a while they return to your relative same state of happiness.
Yes.
Or things can go wrong, go the other direction. So like people will get into an accident, become paralyzed, but are able to maintain the same level of happiness. So
Right.
the hedonic treadmill is kind of basically maintaining that same level despite what good things or bad things may happen.
Yes.
So that, yes, has been heavily researched.
Yeah.
So this other thing, the prevalence-induced concept change.
I think we're calling it by the same name. I mean, the fundamental concept to me is the relativity of stress. Because a lot of us believe if I have a certain amount of money, if I had this one problem solved, if for this one weird trick, I would be happy. But happiness itself is this fleeting concept. It is not by its nature there for eternity. It's not. Like, peacefulness is always a temporary state. And if you want to just be funsies about it, evolution doesn't want you to be happy. Like, if people could just be happy all the time, they would not seek to survive, right? So generally, evolution allows you to be unhappy so that you will seek to do action to keep yourself alive.
Right, because stress is needed.
Yeah,
Right.
Nobody's going to just go
experience
eat because they're
stress.
not hungry. Like,
Right.
you eat because you're hungry. Like, you build shelter because you're tired of being wet. Like, these are the things that ultimately help. But no matter what you do, and this is the reason human society continues to move upward, no matter what you achieve, there's always something lacking. There's always something more. And it's interesting because I think that this dovetails really well with a conversation we've been having with our listeners all these weeks about survivor's guilt.
Right.
And a lot of people feeling like, I wasn't devastated by this crisis. I still have, money in the bank. I didn't get sick. Other people did. I'm so, feeling estranged by this, and it's so weird. And I hear this from patients all the time who are like, I'm ashamed to be talking to a therapist with my problems when there's bigger problems happening in the world and other people are suffering so greatly. And I think that this pairs with what we're hearing about in this concept. We as therapists constantly tell you, you're describing two irrelevant things. It may rain diamonds on another planet. That doesn't change the value of a diamond on Earth, right? And so just because other humans are going through things does not mean your subjective anguish and pain isn't true.
Right.
It's happening in your life. And even if it's because you're upset that Little League was canceled for your kid, or you're upset that your boss is being a jerk to you, but you're still aware that you're grateful to have a job, your level of stress has adapted according to your lifestyle. And so, yeah, there's work to be done to deal with that.
Right. And not only just comparing it between my level of stress versus what everybody else is going through, but my level of stress right now, or happiness right now, or the problems right now, compared to what I will see as my problems in the future.
Yes.
So if my life changes, I'm now kind of at a different level, I'm still going to experience the same sort of problems.
Right.
It's like some of the research that they found. This is kind of interesting. So the folks who kind of started looking into this and discovering it, they were looking at, they gave the example of like a neighborhood watch. Whereas when if you first started a neighborhood watch program or something, and you've got somebody that's new to it, and they're going to start reporting crimes.
Oh, right.
And then when they're able to solve those crimes, or they stop something from happening, then the overall level of crime kind of starts decreasing.
Okay.
But their reports don't.
Right.
They start reporting other things
Yeah.
that aren't as serious.
Right. Because your sensitivity level.
Right.
Yeah.
So you start actually creating different things.
I
right?
agree with that.
Yeah. And so it's kind of this weird phenomena. It's also like looking for, kind of like you're looking for trouble in a sense, or you become more, sensitized,
right?
Or desensitized,
and it's interesting for the general audience. What we're sensitive. Yeah, that's it.
The word you're looking for is
Yes, the word you're looking for. And so, like, I think for the general audience, here's the takeaways from that. It is true that no matter what happens in your life, your awareness of problems and things that cause stress in you will always remain. That mechanism, which is humans can become psychologically irritated by their surroundings and their circumstances, that doesn't change. There can be more stressors in your life, and in psychology, we are capable of categorizing stressors.
Right.
Like an economic stressor is a real thing, right? But it's interesting, right? Because even economics is a subjective reality. There's stock market people that just, lost $1 billion. They had $2 billion. They just lost $1 billion. They might jump out of a window right now. And you might think, that's insane. They have more money than most humans will ever have in their entire life with that $1 billion. They're fine. But again, the subjective level of stress being what it is and subjective fears being what they are, that one human is deeply impacted by their reality. And so, yes, this does happen.
Because everything is relative.
Everything is relative. So that's exactly where stress comes from. So whether you call it this change prevalence theory, whether you call it the sex treadmill, You know, at the end of the day,
I don't think anybody calls
that's
it
what
that.
they call it.
I do.
That's what they call
I
it
call
at
it
Liberty.
Okay,
At Liberty, we were taught to refer to it as the sex treadmill.
Outside of this room.
Okay. Taking a poll.
I don't think...
Taking a poll among people. Well, let's ask Jacob's PO officer. Ramirez, what do you think? He's a quiet guy over there in the corner. So yeah, no, subjectively stress does change, and I think that we have to give ourselves permission for that. A lot of patients feel ashamed, and they feel like I shouldn't be complaining about this.
Yes.
And I don't call it complaining. I call it processing. You're revealing your agitants. Pretending those don't exist, that's not processing them, right? Like, that's just allowing them to fester. That's not helpful either. You're also allowed to access a higher level of consciousness. That's another way to metabolize the things that are bothering you. You are allowed to say, I choose radical acceptance of these problems.
Right.
I choose to be grateful for the good things in my life. I choose to adapt perspective. That's actually a good strategy that you know, ultimately might nullify some of your stresses too. But so is complaining about it or processing it and strategizing with somebody about it. That's okay too.
I think the harmful part is when somebody says, I shouldn't feel this way.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a flaw. I don't even want to say it's a flaw. It's the way that the brain works, right? We are continually looking for threats.
Yeah.
And if we get to a spot where we're in a really safe place, it doesn't mean we stop looking for threats. It means we start looking for not as obvious threats, right? So our brain is just kind of programmed to do this.
Yes.
I think it can become harmful when we start saying, I shouldn't be upset, I shouldn't feel bad about the situation I'm in compared to other people.
Right.
Because now what we're doing is we're creating judgment around a feeling.
Yes.
Which we need to get to a spot where we're just like, okay, this is how I feel.
Yes.
Whether I should or shouldn't is irrelevant.
It is irrelevant.
It's just, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah, no, that is very bad. Like on the health scale of things you can do, telling shoulding all over yourself is the joke that we usually call it. But saying that you shouldn't feel a certain way because other people are going through something different is not a relevant part of the conversation. But here's an interesting dynamic too. People who have gone through really stressful circumstances in one phase of their life and then whose lives have dynamically changed, sometimes because of that past experience, it changes their frame of reference for current stresses. Mm-hmm. And so it's interesting because I've seen in those cases, they may have a little bit more resiliency that, prevents unique stresses from kind of bothering them too much because they've been through a lot already, and that's not lost them. They're kind of calibrated for a little bit more. And so, like, when these new things come, they don't notice them as much. And again, this changes person to person. But for somebody to be vulnerable to stresses, for somebody to be, affected by the world around them, that does not indicate weakness. Right. There is such thing as, like, an emotional immune system and stuff that can be lower or higher and, increase your resiliency. That's fair. But just the simple fact that your life is changing can cause stress. And that's what's interesting, too. Some people think, we have the joke, more money, more problems. But a lot of people think
that's not a joke.
Virginia.
That's a state.
Virginia.
That's a state motto.
Come to Virginia.
This is very serious.
More money, more problems, Mr. Lincoln. And with that shot, the world was changed.
This is by far the most murder jokes that have been made on this show to date.
When
it's murdering a president.
Too soon? You think it's too soon? Too soon
I didn't say it's wrong. I'm just observing.
Too soon for the Lincoln jokes. Yeah, a lot of Lincoln bashing.
This is definitely a PR.
Well, I don't want to ask each of you where you were at on the whole Confederacy Union thing. I know it's still fresh, but I was affected by Mr. Lincoln's passing. Right. I think that was the right response.
The official flag of my school was the Confederate battle flag.
Jesus Christ.
Was it really?
Yeah, my high school.
Yeah. Louisiana does not care.
It changed while I was in school, but when I started high school,
it changed to that?
No,
what was it before?
It changed from that.
Prior to that, it was a swastika.
Well, hold on. A lot of things are starting to add up with Jacob.
Like
the Civil War era beard.
18 different things. When you said what was it before, like 18 different things that were all too offensive to say just floated through my mind. They're all too horrible.
I think I might have a theory that Jacob is actually a Civil War guy who's like gone through a time machine in my high school back in Louisiana.
But he's somehow amazing with audio technology.
During the War of Northern Aggression.
Yep.
What? He says a lot of things that are starting to add up. His affinity for whiskeys.
I'm sorry, you were saying something. I don't even...
The war changed. Anyway, so, yeah. Don't vote for the Confederacy. I think that was
the point.
I think that's where we wanted to land on that. Also, the tragedy of Mr. Lincoln. You know, we'll miss you, Abe. Good dude. Yeah, good question, Zach. Yes.
Great question.
Stress levels adapt according to circumstances. That means that we are supposed to cope and adapt our coping skills for the circumstances. There is no shame or guilt when that happens. It is kind of like a science-y fact that it does.
Yeah,
and that's part of the human condition.
I think the big thing is just understanding how we respond to it.
Yes, that's it. And your response skills are the same whether, you got $10,000 in the bank or $10 million in the bank. You're ultimately still going to have to psychologically cope with your circumstances as needed. So,
All right. Well, we're going to take our second break of the day. And when we come back, we're going to discuss hypnotherapy.
No, we're not.
Oh, crap. I forgot to change that. I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
We'll figure it
out. Play us out. Play us out.
I'm not reading this commercial. Go.
Okay,
It's
all right.
on you.
All right. Our second TheraProducer is Jake Schneider. Our trivia question in honor of Jake. Who was the state of Georgia named for?
Oh, clearly Georgiana from Gilligan's Island.
There you go.
Damn. 2 for 2. Okay.
Nailing it.
King George.
King George of what?
King George.
Ethiopia.
Of Ethiopia.
A lot of people don't know
Obviously.
that. A lot of people don't know that.
There's a bigger thing here, which is the theme behind all of these questions.
Are they about United States?
More specific than that. There's a
states in
deeper
the
theme.
Confederacy?
No. All right. If you'd like
so
to
far
join,
they are.
So far, I think I picked up the theme.
If you'd like to join Jake Snyder and make the show possible, you can go to patreon.com/therapy. Thank you for signing up. That's patreon.com/therapy.
I like it when you do commercials.
Do
I
ya?
like doing the color commentary on the commercials. This is more fun.
All right, we'll do it that way now.
Yeah, I like that. This is fun. So there's a theme with these states.
Yes.
That's beyond the fact that they were part of the Confederacy.
Yes, because the theme is going to continue on
Oh,
into the
I
next
already
show.
got it. I already got it. Oh,
Do ya?
well then I probably shouldn't reveal it. They're both named for royal monarchs. They are named for royal
Although that's
monarchs.
also
That's
true.
not the theme.
Ooh, this is weird how
Well,
many
there are
commonalities
multiple
Georgia
themes.
and Virginia have.
Okay,
They're
well-
also states.
Okay, you may have to wait for the next show to pick up on some of the themes.
No, this
Like
is what we're doing now.
You've gotten 2 clues, and you've already...
Well, we've already realized we can't trust your script writing.
Apparently
Well,
not.
that's true.
Apparently not.
I'm with Jim on this one.
All right, this one's a longer letter. It's a follow-up letter, which we always like to incorporate these when we get them. Hey guys, it's me, Sydney. Sorry for the late response. I listened to the episode about a month later. Sorry. This is going to be a little bit long, but I don't want to miss anything, and I want you guys to hear it all. No, I don't think you're assholes. Oh, great. Oh, glad we got to wait to find that out.
Is that just a general comment?
I don't even know if he's responding to something specifically. I think he's just letting us know.
Yeah, because we had said...
that he probably
do you remember the...
I do, actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
should we give... Okay,
give an update.
so basically the first letter, if I remember, I'm just pulling it straight from memory, the writer was writing in about a situation with a girlfriend and a best friend.
Oh, that's right. This is where the best friend stole the
Ah,
girlfriend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And we were like, dude, your friend's
and
kind
our
of a dick.
advice was like, let's be done with this.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Your friend's a dick, and you should probably take 5. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that's right. That's right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So he says, no, I don't think you guys are assholes.
I don't believe we said his friend's a dick.
I just said it.
Or
I'm
their
going-
friend's a
I'm
dick.
going
I don't
right
know who
there.
it is.
Also, the motto of Virginia.
True.
Your friend's a dick,
Your friend's kind of a dick.
Mr. Lincoln. Pow. Mrs. Lincoln. Your Honor.
This episode's out of
Good
control.
day to you, sir. I want to clarify and say this. I was wrong when I said I wasn't the original choice. I was. It was my mistake as I misunderstood. We are young. Myself, I'm 24. She's 23. She's my first girlfriend. No, we don't live together. She comes from an abusive home, which has probably impacted all of this too. I do think of her as my everything, believing that I am the only one to protect her, but I'm making an effort to change this. I did confront her and the best friend on multiple occasions over their behavior. I understand I couldn't tell her not to see him anymore, which is why I made a great effort to be open about the issue with both of them. I held my best friend under great respect, as we have both grown up together, even giving him help during uncertain times. As a result of this, me and my girlfriend are no longer together. Not because of the decision she made, but because I made my own decision.
Good.
Good job, man. Glad to hear you took kind of initiative on this. The next day, after sending the last email, She confessed several things that she has withheld from me, including cheating. She confessed that the previous night upon telling me this, she had stayed with him and regretted that decision. Enraged, I grabbed everything that I knew I was attached to her, packed it in a bag, and told her to come get it. I then tried to confront my best friend through the phone. No answer, no response, nothing. She arrived and began her routine. To me at the time, it was just noise. She was bawling. Nevertheless, I ignored her and began to move her things into the car. I dropped her off and her things at her house, then set off to confront the best friend. Oh, it was a bad move. That could get dangerous. If I had known where he was staying, I would have gone in person. I called and he sent me straight to voicemail. I know what some of you were thinking, and honestly, I kind of felt the same. In the beginning, my intention was to forget about the girlfriend and never contact her again. But I realized I couldn't do this under a good conscience. I'm aware that this is my personal decision, and I'm prepared for whatever consequences that brings. I set my boundaries. She agreed. We are only to stay as friends. To this day, I still get no word from that best friend, and neither does she. The best friend has completely abandoned her, too. In the end, she ended up with no one. I'm sure someone will get some satisfaction over that. I want to say that immediately leaving this relationship has me realizing how I degraded myself into holding another human into the regard that I held her, and with my pressing mental issues, I still chose to ignore them to pursue her best interests. No more. For the better, I notice myself allowing my emotions to show more, that I'm not so shy to share my concerns anymore, and I'm more aware of what I am as a person. The pain is still fresh, but it's necessary to help me grow. Oh, God, Nick, I love how he said that. The pain is fresh, but it is necessary to help me grow. Oh, that's perfect. Also, the motto of Virginia.
The pain is fresh, but it's necessary.
The pain is fresh, Mr. Lincoln. But it is necessary to help me grow. Pow!
I'm about to do the rest of this show remotely.
Ma'am, Your Honor, Reverend, I'll see you at church this Sunday. I will be looking for a therapist soon, as I need to better myself as a person, instead of improving for someone else. I want to work on the issues I already had before this event, as well as the issues that present themselves after this event. It was unexpected to hear my story on the podcast, actually a nice surprise. Nervous at first, but thank you. I really appreciate you guys at Pod Therapy sharing your insight. I apologize for only sending the first email, but it really helped me solidify what I needed to do as a person. Thank you, Sydney.
Yeah, thanks, Sydney. That was great to have that kind of follow-up with that.
I love how that ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
you know, the only note I would have... obviously, I'm glad that the confrontation in person with the best friend thing didn't
work out.
happen.
Yeah.
That is almost never productive. And in our rage...
Oh, no, it wouldn't have helped anything.
No, that is always a bad idea. Like, you're not going to get anything out of it. You're going to express your anger at somebody. You're going to call them out. It's probably going to turn into physical. Like, it can, you know, really, really fast. And
the only way you are, in that situation, the only way you are emotionally satisfied is if you are physically in the custody of the police. Like
then you're calm.
Yeah.
Then you're really calm.
Yeah.
Once your hands are in that nice little cubby built just for you, then you're like, I'm in a good place.
Yeah. So I don't,
like
it's definitely not worth it. I think, that's a good thing it didn't work out that way. I love the way that you dealt with that.
Yeah.
Just, this is for you. This is your, you know, you are kind of calling the shots in your own life now, which is awesome.
No, I love it. And I love the way you're seeing this perspective of pain is not the enemy. Pain is healthy. Pain helps me grow. I like the boundary that you're setting with the ex-girlfriend. I understand where you've blurred the line. And you know what? You can always tell when somebody listens to the show because they add in a bunch of caveats real quick.
Because they already know
what we're going to say. And so it's like, I know it's my decision. I know I live with the consequences. It's okay. I'm like, okay, Sydney, I get it.
Just shut up, Jim.
Shut up, Jesus. But no, like I thought that was a very progressive understanding. You're saying, okay, I realize I was justified to just drop her entirely. I realize I could just cut her out of my life. I choose to maintain a friendship that has some structure, that has some boundaries, and, you know, deciding what that looks like. The thing that I thought was curious in all this is after the breakup, things seem good. After the breakup, it's like, hey, we're all friends here. Everything's cool. I've moved into a place of acceptance. That's when girlfriend confesses and says, hey, now that we're broken up, I feel I need to let you know that during the relationship, I was sleeping with best friend. Like, that was happening. And, like, it, you know, and Sydney knew that to some extent, but, like, to have it be, you know, in the cheating realm for this person, like, they're like, oh my gosh, this was bigger than I thought it was. And that caused that big reaction to it.
Sure.
And, you know, I guess that's a little bit complicated, I guess, because on one hand, I'm pro catharsis, and I'm pro, like, a person being able to get something off their chest and tell that secret. But I guess I kind of look at it in some sense and think, and I'm interested in your take on this, Nick, because you might completely disagree with me on this. In some ways, it was selfish.
Yep.
Yeah, Jacob knows where I'm going with this.
Yep.
Yeah, in some ways, that was pretty selfish. Like, people think,
oh, kind of an asshole move.
Kind of an asshole move. Like, you know, it's like, oh, well, that was the right thing to do because the truth is always best, you know, and, like, tell him the truth. You devastated him.
Telling the truth is different from telling someone everything.
Yeah, you don't have to kill the guy. Like, you're going to twist a dagger into his heart and tell him what you did. Like,
or we could just be broken up.
Yeah.
Like we are.
Yeah, we're broken up. Yeah. No need to go over all the things that went on. That's why we're broken up.
Hey, here was a contributing factor.
Yeah. Like, don't need to go over it. You know?
Nope.
Like, I see the same thing in divorces. You know, after a divorce, somebody, like, feels like they need to get it off their chest. And, like, a year later, they'll be like, by the way, I was sleeping with your best friend. Or something. It's like, why?
Right.
Like, why did you need to tell that? Like, that was a selfish action, I think. I don't know. Maybe that's not the best, most progressive view, but I just think it's selfish.
Does it matter, do you think, if they're still going to stay friends? Do you think that information needs to come out?
They're not going to stay friends. They're definitely not going to stay friends.
In this, I'm just saying from Sydney's perspective, if that happens, do you think it was necessary in that case? Or do you still stand by it was still selfish, that was dumb, you shouldn't have done
If they're going to, like, still see each other all the time, then probably.
I don't know. Is it? I mean, who cares?
I think if
that's
they
true.
were,
In the
if
context
they
of a
were
friendship,
actually
that's not
going
relevant.
to stay friends, which they're not
Which
going
they're
to.
definitely not going to.
Sorry. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess maybe then if you treasured that friendship so deeply that you just had to do anything you could to repair the damage enough to be friends, then fine.
Yeah.
But shit, man.
It just seems like a dick move. There's a philosophy in Alcoholics Anonymous that I've always found to be nuanced and very interesting. And it's one of their steps. And they're very heavy on the idea of making amends.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this.
Yep.
They're very heavy on the idea of, hey, as an alcoholic, you've probably caused a lot of damage in people's lives. And you know what? It's super duper important that A, you recognize what you did. B, you become, like, emotionally ready to apologize for that and make it right. And C, you apologize and make amends to others with this caveat. Only when doing so would cause them no harm.
Right.
And I've always thought that was a very interesting thing to add, because when you first read that, you're like, okay, whatever. But then you kind of think about it and you're like, yeah, there's a lot of times when your desire to have catharsis and peace and make amends and clean the slate could actually cause damage to the other person emotionally, or pick the scab of a wound, or, you know, give them more to worry about.
If you harmed someone, you know, some time ago, and that person has since severed that relationship, and you go reopen that relationship just so you can apologize for something that you did while you were drunk, you know, several times or whatever it was.
Right.
That's just selfish.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, no, that person has moved on with their life and they've moved on from you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is in that boat.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same thing, but it's in the same big boat.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, if we had been able to talk to her pre-revelation and she said, I don't know, it's a burden. Like, it bothers me. I feel dishonest about it. I would say, okay, great.
Get a therapist.
I would say, yeah, as a therapist, I would say, you know what? You're wrestling with this because it didn't feel authentic to you. Because when you made this decision, you didn't care for this person very much, or you had other feelings. Now your feelings have changed. Now it feels incongruent with how you feel today. Accept the complexity of that. You get to live with the pain.
Yeah.
You get to live with the burden. You don't need to bottle that up and give that to the other person. Because look what the hell happened. You know, now, like, it's like he could have gotten arrested that night. He could have gone over to best friend's house and punched that dude and gone to prison. You know, who knows? A million things could have gone wrong.
Now, all of that, to be fair, Sydney would still be responsible for.
Right?
You're still responsible for your own choices.
Yeah, yeah.
But
still
yes,
responsible for your own choices.
there is some sense of
instigation.
Emotional harm, injury.
In a litany of problematic things, if I'm coaching the girlfriend in that one or the ex-girlfriend, I'm telling her, let's you and I digest that.
Right.
That's what therapy is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're a safe place, and I'm a professional. Let's talk about that. Don't box that up and give that to him and just hope for the best. Because a million variables could happen. He could say, okay, thank you, I'm over it. Or you could say, like, I'm really not, this bothers me. In the end, you should be the one to think about what happened and let's make peace with it here. Let's process that here. I don't know. I just think that in those kinds of situations, like, look how that blew up. And when in that story, it was like, oh, geez, I kind of thought, oh, that's a punch in the stomach. Like, I don't know, he needed that. He was doing everything fine, up to that point. But in the end, I think that this story kind of turned out among the better solutions I thought was available. It was a pretty complicated little love triangle there.
Yeah.
And, my other advice to Sydney as kind of you're regrouping from this and kind of licking your wounds, again, to praise you, love your perspective. Love that you're saying pain is part of the truth. It's okay. It teaches me. It grows me. Love that openness. Impressed that you created a boundary and said, okay, we're going to have a friendship with boundaries, and you're allowed to have that right now. That's also allowed to transform over time. Over time, you're allowed to say, maybe I don't value this friendship. Maybe I didn't want to lose it in the beginning because I was scared to lose her entirely. But as time goes on, maybe I'm more comfortable with that.
Yeah, overall, Sydney, I'm really impressed with how you handled it.
Yeah.
I thought you handled that better than I probably would have, honestly.
It was a very well done, scenario. And then the last thought I'd give to you is you did mention this was your first relationship. Very complicated first relationship, buddy. And, sorry to hear this. A lot of people's first relationships, especially when they're younger, they can get really complicated because there's a lot of other single people and you're dealing with people that don't know what they want in life. And, everybody's kind of new to the relationship thing. So there's a lot of exploration and a lot of hurt feelings and stuff like that. So my encouragement to you is don't be discouraged, by this. Don't let this scare you from love. Don't let this make you think that you're bad at picking mates or that this is going to happen again. It is an unusual experience, but generally speaking, people's love lives kind of average out over time, and you start to meet people that they have more experience in their love life, and they generally know what they're looking for.
Yeah, definitely.
Usually. But I like how you handled it, man.
Yeah, and thanks for following up.
Yeah, always like getting a follow-up letter. I think that really helps.
And lastly, Sydney is one of those names where it could go either way, so if we got our pronouns mixed up, we apologize.
Yeah. Also,
we try to avoid pronouns if we're not told what it is, but sometimes they slip out.
Jacob and I do. Jim doesn't get
That's
it.
true.
What? Oh, the pronouns thing?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at it.
I'm good at it, guys.
I'm good at it. I'm good at it. I'm good at this. Also the motto
I'm good at
of
stuff.
Virginia.
I'm good at stuff.
I'm good at stuff. Pie.
Oh,
Come to Charleston.
can we be done with this episode
Best
now?
ribs in the nation.
Hey, guess what? I screwed the pooch even worse because this is the first episode of the new month, so we have to go to episode 122 for the thank yous because
Do you want me to grab the other script? Is what you're saying?
Grab
Okay.
the other script.
This is
Switch it out.
fantastic.
God,
Your best
we
work.
cannot handle.
This is why we can't open a store. This is why we need a band manager. We just need some. Welcome to Pod Therapy. We're going to do some learning. All right, where are we at?
Okay.
I'm just shuffling papers.
Yeah, here, I got it. All right. We didn't have any new THERAPALs.
I am shocked.
Or maybe we did.
Maybe we
I don't
did.
know.
I think we're about to lose all of them. I don't think this will be the last time we ever thank anybody.
But we do want to thank our THERAPODs. Thank you, Adam Rubeznik, Andrew Frozen Cusser, Angie Ellis, Brad Kefauver, Carolyn Albert, Chelsea Lamb, Chelsea Saracen, Corey McTits, Craig Little, Curtis Kiwi Fruit Scoop Hanlon, David Sorensen, Don Dorr, Elliot Lamb, Easy Whip, Ezekiel Lawrence, Felicia Butler, Fred Bashara Jr., Gavin Bristow, Heather Psychotic Scoop, Chris Hylian Scoop,
That references Ellen.
Ian Whitefall, James Cole, Jeffrey Ackerman, Jessica Vent, Jim Hunter, John DeLong, Joseph Pangrazio, Carrie Tierhark,
Nick's sister.
Katie Chawalski,
Not Nick's sister.
Kenneth Liu, Kenneth Soto, Lori Ellsroth, Linda Brandmeier, Lindsay Brashara, Matthew Neer, Malaya Okie Scoop, Richard Bruins, Robert Paulson, Scoopaholic, Scoopator Ascending, Scoopstronaut, Shayla Bullock, Stacy Westerland, Tess Miller, 3 Scoops a Lady, Todd Canfield, and Tracy Rapogle.
A.K.A. Jim's mom. Mom, I'm fine. Stop calling. Stop asking if I'm okay. And we want to thank all of our Theradactyls, Andrea Anders, Brian Lehman, Dan Martin, David Pollock, Ice Blue Scoop, Kate Keller, who is the leader of the Theradactyls, I'll add, Leon Kassab, who's our in-house attorney. Please direct all correspondence to him directly. Mason Miller, Sally Boop Scoop, Scott Brady, Tom Morrison, and Cindy Ash. And we want to thank our bosses, the Elite Eight, the mysterious and shrouded Illuminati members of our fan club, the THERAPRODUCERs. Thank you, Smitty Scoop, Jake Schneider, Robert Brownie Jr. Mint, chairman of the board. Robert Brownie Jr. Mint is, he used to be chairman of the board. Kayla Lansbury.
Yeah, screwed that up too.
Screwed everything up. Ellie O'Dare, Judy Schneider, Nathan's Hot Dog Scoop, Dr. Ben Don, and ex officio board member Crazy Manana Scoop.
And if you would like to hear this episode uncut and unedited,
and why wouldn't you?
This is crazy.
It'll
And enjoy
cost
our
you a small
spontaneous
fortune.
side projects. Go to patreon.com/therapy, and thank you for supporting mental health.
That's all the time that we've got for this week's session. We want to thank our landlords, the Ice Cream Social Podcast, and thanks to those of you who contributed to our show today. We really appreciate it. Remember, pod therapy isn't something you should keep all to yourself. Share this episode with someone who needs it by opening this episode's description in your podcast app and copying and pasting the link provided into your social media. Don't forget, you can find us at facebook.com/podtherapy, on Twitter @PodTherapyGuys, and at patreon.com/therapy.
You want to submit a question to the show? Ask anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. I'm Nick Tangeman.
The South shall rise again.
Thanks, and we'll see you for appointment next week.
Six simple Tyrannus!
That's what you want to leave that on, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
You know what? It's finally time I stopped fucking pussyfooting around.
I'm sorry you didn't wear the white mask today.
RJ's